back to Capitol Report. I'm Matt Swenson. This is State Representative Jerry Newton. Welcome back, Jerry.
Yes, good to see you, Matt.
Good to have you in the studio, sir. And I know that you folks have taken some important votes in these last several weeks, one of which would have restored health care for 38,000 of Minnesota's poorest, sickest people, including 8,000 Minnesota veterans.
Yes, this is the General Assistance Medical Care. It's known as GAMC, and it really is for the poorest of the poor. People have to be making less than $8,000 a year in order to qualify for this health care. And the overwhelming majority of the people that are receiving this care have some sort of mental health issues. They have addictions. Many of them are homeless. And as you probably know, I spoke on the House floor about our veterans. 8,000 of these individuals on GAMC are veterans. And our veterans are, many of them are people who I may have served with in Vietnam. You know, they're that Vietnam era vet who has a distrust for government. And I know part of the plan was to bring these people into the Veterans Administration healthcare, the VA healthcare system, for which most of them qualify. The problem is that these people, their last real big dealing with the government is when they were drafted and sent to Vietnam. Not a very happy situation for them. And they're still, in their way, rebelling against that and want nothing to do with government services. So it's very hard to try to get them into the VA system. And I've talked with the Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs. They're more than willing to try to help. But when you have homeless people, who do you send the letter to?
Yeah.
You know, how do you contact these people? And oftentimes, the only time you see them is when they come in for emergency care at the hospital, then they disappear again. So it's not as easy as a lot of people were trying to make it out to be, that we just, shift them all over to veterans care. And some of them don't qualify for VA care. So, that's a pretty important issue. And I know that Representative Aaron Murphy is still working on this bill. They've been in with the governor, trying to come up with a compromise that'll make sure that we cover the poorest people in Minnesota.
And a final solution on that is forthcoming. And a final solution on this year's bonding bill is also forthcoming as negotiations with the governor and the Senate and the House continue. I know that several projects that would impact your constituents are still in the bill.
Yes, and this is a very strange maneuvering. Because as you know, we've been criticized in the House for having our bill too large. It was slightly above $1 billion. And the governor was saying that his bill was $725 million. So there's a difference of $300 million, a lot of money. But when we asked the governor specifically what things would you cut from our bill, he gave us $74 million in cuts. And then he wanted to add in $100 million in new bonding for the Moose Lake Correctional Facility. So he would have put it much higher than what we already have. So the negotiations continue. Representative Alice Hausman is working very diligently and trying to come to a reasonable solution. Our bill was heavy on education facilities, the University of Minnesota and especially MNSCU, the community colleges. And in that part of the bill, we had some good projects at Anoka-Ramsey, bioscience building and an arts building. I heard from Representative Hausman last night that the bioscience building won't be in the bill, but we've got a chance of getting the arts building in the bill. And the bioscience facility, there probably will be money in there for design of the building. It wasn't shovel ready, and that's one of the things that we wanted in all of our projects. But other things dealing with the commuter rail, the North Star, the Northern Lights Express, we're still not sure if there's going to be any funding in there. But there are other avenues for us to approach, especially with the federal government, to get some funding for that. The Coon Rapids Dam was a project that I had started, and we initially started with $8 million in bonding. It went down to $2 billion. Last I saw was $750,000, which isn't going to take care of the needs of repairing the spillway on the dam. And of course, the issue there is that dam is the last barrier for Asian carp getting up into the upper Mississippi, the Rum, and eventually into Lake Mille Lacs. And DNR is very strongly supporting our repairing the dam.
Well, I know that that dam is very important for your community and all of Minnesota, and that's why you're going to be meeting with Senator Franken's staff just in the next coming days to see if federal funding is available for the project as well.
Yes, I'm going to meet with them. I've asked them to come over to our office on Monday morning, and Representative Melissa Hortman and I and someone from Three Rivers Park District, and Three Rivers owns the dam. I feel if we can't get the money through the state system, that possibly through the offices of Senator Franken, that we can get not only money to repair the dam, the 8 to 10 million we need for the repairs, immediate repairs of the dam, but also the 38 million that we could use to get that dam back up running as a hydroelectric plant and providing a lot of green power for our area. That hydroelectric plant would provide enough energy for 4,400 homes in the Coon Rapids area. So it's, you know, it's pretty significant at a time when we're talking about nuclear power and expanding, you know, more coal-fired plants. That I think any opportunity we have to go for green energy is really worthwhile. And we'll be asking Senator Franken's office to try to work with the president to get some of the stimulus money for the dam.
Well, a lot of challenging work here at the Capitol this session, and a lot of good work that you're doing for the people of Coon Rapids and Andover. I thank you for coming into the studio, Representative Newton.
Yeah.
And thanks for tuning in at home. We'll see you next time on Capitol Report.